welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming. And as you may have noticed, I'm speaking English today, and that is because this is a very interesting episode, because we have the episode 100 of Continuum Gaming this time around. Yeah, and I figured just to celebrate that a little bit, and because many of my viewers don't speak German that well, I am trying to speak English today. And as you may already have figured out, I'm not a native speaker, and because of that, please bear with me if I'm making some kind of mistakes, or I'm not speaking very well, or I'm not that well to understand. Please have a look and try to use, for example, the subtitles for that, or whatever. I hope you can cope with it and you can understand me well enough. Yeah, and since this is the first episode I'm doing in English, that is more or less the normal kind of episodes I'm doing here, I will show you 3 different games in this episode too. And this time around it will be Cannonball Man, I Hate Heroes and Space Marshals. My name is of course Gerald, as you may or may not know. If you didn't know that before, please have a look at one of the 99 other episodes that are available more or less here or somewhere around this video, and please watch them all, because it's really bringing me a lot of fun to see that people like my videos here. Okay, and additional to the 100 episode of Continuum Gaming, there will be a special episode, of course. It will go up, I'd say, maybe around tomorrow, or maybe in the next few days at least. And please be patient for that. That one will be in English too, so you have a lot to watch in this week, of course. And there's something additional I wanted to do, and because Joshua asked me to have a look at the setup, or doing a how-to video more or less, how to set up the Xbox One as a wireless controller for games and stuff like that. And because I wanted to give him that opportunity to have a look at that, I will do another video. Probably I will link it here somewhere. I'm not sure if it's going to be linked at the first few hours this video is on, but we will see when it will come on. And then I will show you a little bit about how to set up the Xbox One as a wireless controller, and the other setup stuff I'm doing here more in depth. Okay, and then of course I have the setup I'm talking about, of course, and there is of course my Arc mouse. The Arc mouse is a Bluetooth device which can be used in 2 different ways, or better to say, which can be brought into 2 different modes, more or less. The first mode is this mode. Now it's shut off. As you can see, there is no light shining through anywhere here. And now it is really thin. I can use that, for example, to put it in my bags, to carry it around if I want to go to a customer, doing some presentation stuff or whatever. And of course I can bring it into this mode. In this mode it's really of the shape of my hand, so I can use it very easily. And the good thing about this is now I have really the comfort of using a normal mouse, more or less. And of course I have the comfort to bring it back into a very thin mode, to transport it around, to carry it around with me in a very easy way. And this is the Arc mouse for that. Okay, and then of course I will activate it now, because we're going to use it. And this one is the Foldable keyboard, which is more or less of the same kind of way, because it has 2 modes too. The first mode is I can flip it into this kind of stuff, so it's closed now. There is more or less a protection by itself for the keys under there, because from both sides you can see the keys are very nicely protected like that. And the cool thing about it is very thin, still, even if you put it together in this fashion here. And now you can just carry it around, put it into your bag, and just keep it with you with the additional mouse here. And as you can see, they are more or less the same size too, at least width-wise or whatever. And like that, it's very easy to put them, for example, together in a bag or whatever and carry them around. And the good thing about that is that you have always the comfort of being able to use a normal keyboard for the 10-finger writing style and stuff like that. And of course a good mouse to work with, even though you are not at home at your desktop or wherever you want to go there. Yeah, and the third candidate of the peripherals I'm using here is the Xbox One as a wireless controller, and in this case we will use it for at least 2 games. I'm not sure if the third one can be used with it. I don't think so, but I will show you that it's more or less possible to use this for 2 of the games. One of them isn't really preferable to use this, so I would not recommend it. Because you have to get rid of your mouse to use it in a more or less usable fashion there, but we still can show you, or I can still show you that it's working more or less. And of course this is a Bluetooth device too, and all of these devices can be connected to my Lumia 950XL, which of course is more or less the heart of the whole thing we are doing here, because this is a computing device we are using to bring all the different games and the desktop of course to this TV. And that is done by using the USB-C cable you see here. So there's a USB-C connector down at the bottom of my smartphone here. And the USB-C cable is used to connect my smartphone with this cable to this little box. This is the display dock from Microsoft. And this is more or less a USB hub for USB-C to USB-A ports, for example. And there is an HDMI and a DisplayPort plug for this part. And so I can connect, for example, this TV I'm using here with an HDMI cable with this little box, and by connecting my smartphone with this little box, it can transfer this desktop-like mode of my smartphone screen to this big screen here, and we can use it in this other way. It's quite nicely functional, whatever. It functions very nicely, and so I really like this way of working with it. And of course it is a very cool thing because you can carry it around very easily, put it somewhere, use it everywhere you want to, and just pack it together again, go to another place and do the same thing again. And this is the wired version, of course. We can use, for example, I'm not sure if I have one here, yeah, I have the old version here. We can of course use, for example, this kind of connector here. This is, I think it's called wireless adapter from Microsoft. It's more or less a Miracast dongle which can be used, for example, to make this version of connection wireless too. It's not exactly the same because the wired version has a few advantages over this one. For example, the smartphone is at the same time charged, so the battery is not going to drain and shut your device off if you are playing, for example, a game for 2 hours or something like that. That may happen in otherwise, and or maybe. I'm not even sure if it's 2 hours. I could do, for example, presentations for 2.5 hours, 3 hours already, and it worked quite pretty and quite well with that. But the very interesting part about doing it wired at this point, as I told you before, is the battery thing, but also that, for example, the latency is quite low with this solution, and if you are using this solution, for example, it may be higher. You may notice it depends on the game, of course, but for some games it's really not very interesting to use this one if you have a cable driven one too, so wired one. Yeah, and I think that's more or less all I can tell you about what I'm going to tell you, at least about this kind of setup here. As I said before, Joshua requested one of the videos, and you can probably see it over there already if you are watching this video, but we will see if that is the case. and there I will go into setting this up a little bit deeper, showing you what I'm connecting to what and how to get the connection working with your smartphone and stuff like that. But that's something we are not going to talk in this episode. If you want to know more about it, wait for that video or go to the first episode of Continuum Gaming, and will be in there too, in this little info box up there. There you may see more of that too. And of course, what I wanted to say before too, this, if you're wondering what kind of cover that is, this is a Mozo cover. The saberwood one can be persuaded by Mozo accessories or something like that. I may put the link down below into the description so you can have a look at that. And now I tortured you enough with my talk, and I think we should go to see the first of the games here. And the first of the games I want to show you is Cannonball Man. This is also called King Soldier 3, so there are two names more or less for that. Which one you are going to use is your kind of way, or is what you want to do there. But I will go to my all apps list here, and I will search for Cannonball Man, because this is the name it installed with. Okay, so I will click on that, and Cannonball Man is more or less a little bit like Worms, for example, Worms World Party or something like that. At least a little bit, and I will show you what that is all about. I will also turn down the volume a little bit, because I don't want to scream all the time here. And because of that, I can use my Foldable keyboard for that, if you are wondering. So there are some kind of action keys at the top here, and I can use them. And what I'm showing you here is a little bit game, as I said, a little bit like Worms World Party or something like that, if you know that. So you have a small soldier, and you have to kill those monsters, which are put on different places on the screen here, and you have to use different weapons to kill them. And it's quite a nice game, a little bit like a puzzle game, but not really, and a real nice thing to do here. So as you can see, there are a lot of levels you can play here. These are the levels I already played till 8, and after that I have to unlock the other ones. This is not because it's costing you money or something like that, it's just because I didn't play 8 till now, so I'm not allowed to play the other ones too. Okay, so I will start with the first here, just to show you how this game is working. And as you can see, you have this little soldier here, and your mouse in this case. I'm using the mouse for that. I don't think... yeah, the Xbox One wireless controller will not work for this game, so I will use the mouse for that. And as you can see, we have this little soldier. This is your gaming character, and here is an enemy. And as you can see, we have at the moment a hand grenade to work with, and like that we can, for example, shoot on this little enemy here. And as you can see, there's some kind of physics involved, so if you're trying to shoot on the enemy and just putting your mouse on the enemy, that will not work, because the hand grenade will just be pulled down by gravity, and like that it will go into, vanish into the void or whatever. And like that you will have to really look where to put it. Have a look at this little indication bar here, because if I now click, for example, it will bring my hand grenade to the right position and kill my enemy. And this is more or less what you are going to do in this game. So going to the next part, you can see there is something moving now. We still have one of these monsters there we want to shoot on, and we still only have the hand grenade, but that will change in a few little levels. I'm not sure how many, but it will change with the upcoming levels. And of course we can just shoot on that. And so they are trying to introduce you to the different things you can do here. I really like this game somehow. It's quite fun to play with it. And as you can see, we have a different weapon now. So this is more or less a bazooka now, and the hand grenade. We can switch between those two by just clicking on these buttons here. And if you use a bazooka, of course, this one will, yeah, close to shoot straight forward. Of course, it has a little bit of a bow too, but it really is a lot less bowy or whatever you want to call it, to shoot with this one. And of course, if you, for example, try to shoot at this alien now, it will not work because there is no straight line from you to this alien. So you have to switch over to the other weapon, because this one can be used in this way. And for example, try to put the hand grenade next to it. And as you can see, this enemy can take 2 shots, so you have to shoot on him 2 times. And in this case, this just means you click 2 times, of course. But if, for example, there are moving things on the screen, it may not work by just clicking 2 times or something like that. And as you can see, you get, for example, the star grading here. And this is more or less because I used the bazooka one time too often. And like that, I lost one of the possible ways to kill the monster here, because I would have been able to, for example, use a grenade, put one of the grenades or 2 of them in between those 2 enemies here, and like that I would have used 1 shot less. But in the end, doesn't matter. It's really up to you if you want to play it again or not, and have a look at that. And of course, this is going to be, yeah, just more and more difficult to play this. If you're wondering, you can't shoot on yourself. So if you, for example, shoot against this moving part here, and with the bazooka bullet will be thrown back to you, more or less, or at least will be thrown or reflected, more or less. But that's not really important, because you are not going to die from that. Okay, and now let's try to put something there too. And so you can see it's more about timing, about having a look where to shoot and stuff like that. And it's more or less like as I said, for example, Worms Armageddon, Worms World Party, or whatever you used to play back in the days. And this is more or less a small little game in that direction. I really like it, and I hope you will have fun with it. So I would say that's more or less all I can tell you or show you here. Of course, we can go to this one. I'm not sure what this is going to do. Doesn't really do anything at the moment. And this would be just to replay the game, and here we can go to the next one. And as you can see, there are really different levels. They are going to be harder to play. As you can see, I can't put this one or kill this one in the same way I did before, so maybe I have to, yeah, I have to change my angle there to shoot on him. And now I can, for example, put this little grenade through this hole and use this too. Yeah, I think I will not play anymore with this game in this video. Of course I will play with it a lot, because I really like this game. But in this video I showed you enough, so have a look at it. If you like it, please tell me about it in the comments, of course. And just play it, and of course rate the game in the Windows Store. The developer will be happy about that. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. For that I will close this one down, and the next one is I Hate Heroes. And I Hate Heroes is a quite special game, I think, because you're not playing the heroes which are, for example, killing monsters, but it's the other way around. Or better to say, you are trying to save monsters from being killed by a hero. And because of that, it's called I Hate Heroes. I really like that concept. And I will search for it, of course, here. Put in a little mistake there. Yeah, that's better. No typos in there. And yeah, I like the concept more or less because it's really fun to play the bad guys, but they're not really bad guys. I think they're looking quite cute in comparison to the heroes, for example. And there are different ways to play this game, and as I mentioned before, it is playable using the Xbox One as wireless controller, but I don't like it that way. I don't like to play it with it, because you have to shut down your mouse for that, otherwise you can't use the controller for that. And yeah, more or less these are the different play or characters here. So there are the bad guys, which are more or less the good guys because you are playing them. It's about those, and as you can see, there are heroes which will try to kill your monsters, and you have to rescue your monsters from the heroes here. Okay, so as you can see, we can use the Xbox One as a wireless controller. It's quite good prepared for that. So for example, I can press A now, as it is shown there. I can use my stick to navigate here. And this game is of course available on Xbox anywhere, I think, or live, I'm not sure. So this is quite a good game for that. But as I told you before, if you are using it with a concept like, or a setup like I am using it here, you have to shut down your mouse, otherwise you will have problems playing it. I will show you that later. So first off, I will go into that, just press the A button for that to select it. And as you can see, we have now the second level here to play, and I can change my level I want to play with this little wizard, because you are the little wizard more or less, trying to save the monsters here. And as you can see, you can play, after you played the first version, so the normal difficulty level, you can play the hardcore mode with this map. But this is more or less just to start with it and show you what it's all about, because it's not really easy to understand what you are going to do there. The first thing you should do, of course, is to go to this thing here. I'm not sure if I can do that anymore. Yeah, I can. So go into the settings, because otherwise you may not have the right version to play with the Xbox One wireless controller or whatever you want to use there. Because you have to put in a different way to control this. So here are different possibilities. Touch, for example, is one. You can use the keyboard, and you can use your mouse. And depending on what you are setting up, this may or may not work. Mouse, for example, is a problem, because if you are using your mouse, the character will always follow around the arrow of the mouse, and like that you can't use, for example, this stick to control your character there. And because of that, I will try it with the keyboard now. I didn't do that before till now, so let's see what's going to happen there. And if you are happy with that, go back to the menu here, or just close it down, doesn't matter, and use your that is more or less a save game there. And now we will just play the first section here again. I will just use the A button to tell him it's okay. And as you can see, this is the small little fellow here, and now it's working very nicely. So you have to put in first off your and I will die because I'm talking too much here. First off, you have to put out the mouse in the options there, otherwise you can't play this very well. But now I can play it, and as you can see, your little wizard has a health bar, your monster has a health bar. You have to use this little wizard to help your monster here. And as you can see, you can shoot fireballs on him, and fireballs are really not very effective in this case. And you can use this little, what is it called? I'm not sure, for beers, to catch beers more or less. And I will just play that again for you. And what you can see here is I can now place these little beer traps more or less here, and like that I can try to really weaken this hero. And as you can see, I could kill him now, and I got a little level up or power up there. And now try to kill all the heroes that are coming here. And of course grab all the power-ups you can find there. And be warned, there are going to be worse waves here of heroes. And of course you should put a lot of these traps up, because those are really the things that will kill the heroes. And now there is going to be an harder enemy. This one will take a lot of those, and he will kill you with only one of his swords, if you are going to play that like that. Now you should put your dragon into the hero somehow. I'm not sure why that is, but you have to be carried by the dragon, and then you can go to the exit there and use it. If you want to connect to your dragon or ride your dragon more or less, go to the dragon and press, in this case, the Y key. And like that you can play this game. It's really quite fun somehow, and I really like the concept of being the bad guy that is tortured by the good guy. Yeah, it's more or less being not being understood by people, and because of that they are giving you a hard time and bringing their killers on you, but you just want to live somewhere, and because of that you are here. And I really like that somehow. It's really a nice little twist there. And as you can see, we can play different levels here. There are some things they are telling you about the levels you're playing here. So whatever you want to do. And as you can see, we have more than one of the monsters now. And we should put up a little bit to kill those. Yeah. And try to get rid of all these bad guys here. Oh, that one is quite a fast one, but they seem to die very fast too, so that is good. The traps you see here are not going to be there forever. That is a bad one. So let's try to give him a hard time till he's coming to my monsters. Yeah, worked. And as you can see, I can now carry one of my monsters out, I think. So this one, for example, I will bring that one out. And now I have to really be fast about the rest here. And it's quite bad for me what's happening here. Let's see if I can connect with my little fella here. Cool. He can fire too. So if you connect with him, you can use your fellow dragon here to do the rest. And that wasn't bad at all. So maybe he is even stronger than what the hero itself can do, or the wizard itself can do. Especially because the enemies are going to be slower if they are hit by me, like that. The bad thing about it is he's not going to fight for you if you are not connected to him. So he's just trying to get out of the way, and that is really bad because it's a dragon. He should fight back, I think, if a hero is trying to kill him. And let's see if I can get him out of here too. Yeah, worked, and now we can just go out. And we have secured our little fella here. And this is more or less the game. I really like the concept and how it is executed here too. If you are playing with a mouse, it's a little bit troublesome, I think, because it will follow all the time the cursor of the mouse, so the mouse pointer. And this is a little bit strange to play with, but it's going to work too. And otherwise you can use the Xbox One wireless controller, which is really a nice thing to play this game if you shut down the mouse mode and go to the keyboard mode, for example, because otherwise you can't use the Xbox One wireless controller next to the mouse, because the hero or your character to play will always follow the cursor here, and the movement commands you are giving with the controller here will not work like that. But cool thing to play, really fun, and I hope you have fun with it. So let's have a look at the last game this time, and I really find this game is a very special game because it's really well done. I really like it. I think it's one of the best games I have played with until now. At least in that genre it is in, it really is a nice thing. And it's called Space Marshals. So it combines really nice, compelling graphics with somehow, yeah, it's really fun to play it too. It's going to be a 3D game played with the Xbox One as wireless controller in this case. Of course you can play it with the keyboard or the mouse too if you want to. But for me it's the Xbox One as wireless controller in this case because it's really a cool thing to play it like that. It may take a little to load up, but not too long. And there is an intro. I will show you the intro now. So this is the prison, and the prison is going to be sabotaged, and like that, prison spaceship of course, and this spaceship will be brought down to a planet. And there we are. And the cool thing about that is that the prison here is hosting at the moment your character, because you are a space marshal, or better to say an ex-space marshal, which has done something bad. I'm not sure what it was, but like that, the prison is hijacked now. We have a prison break here, and it's going to happen again, and this one will be brought down to the planet, as you can see. This is the KI, or the AI, artificial intelligence, that is going to help you, or better to say, it will wake you up because it's noticing that the spaceship will not work like that, and you are a space marshal, or better to say ex-space marshal, which is going to be the hero in this little story we are playing here. And it's top down, so you are going to navigate with the Xbox One wireless controller, and the Xbox One wireless controller is really very nice to use here, because I will tell you before I'm going to hit enter. He's calling me and telling me that I need to press a button now, and I will show you what is going on here with the controls. It's really quite complex, and one of the rare occasions where the Xbox One wireless controller is more or less used to its full potential, because you will move your character with this stick, you will aim with this stick, you will shoot, for example, with this button at the back here. You can change your weapons and different accessories you are going to bring with you. Like, for example, you can throw grenades and stuff like that. And you can switch between those weapons with this one. This one will activate the menu button, and all of these can be used, for example, for back, for selection, for... I'm not sure about the other ones. You will find it out if you're playing this game too. So A to select or to do it now. He's now seeing. I will just put that down for a minute. You can now see that he detected that I'm going to use this, and I can, for example, go on A to go on. He's telling you a small story, more or less, that this space marshal was a prisoner here, and the space marshal is reactivated, more or less, so woken up by the KI after there was this bad thing, and now he is promoted to be a space marshal again. And he's asking how long he was away and how long he didn't play this. So now he just get all his faults he did and all the things he was guilty of are taken away from him, and now he can go on and play this again. I will just put this here. Yeah, why not? And now let's see what we can do here. I will just click through that. If you want to read it, for example, play it in your own language, because this is a German version, and he's noticing that my smartphone is German. Because of that, this is a German version. You can of course play it in English version, it's also available. Yeah, and as you can see, we have to go get out here because the life systems are going to be a problem. And now we can move our character around. And if we want for, we can't aim at the moment, but that may work later on. The little robot is going to follow us, and we have to have a look at where to run here, what we can do, and talk a little bit with her. There's a specialist, and she's a pilot of this operation, and so we are going to talk with her a little bit about what we can do now, what is going on, and here are more or less the life safety capsule or whatever you call it. And in these we cannot go because this one is for her, so we need to find another one. And now he is telling you that we should use our weapon the first time, so just try to shoot on this little box there. And B, for example, is to go into a silent mode, so like a splitter cell mode or whatever. And now we are a little bit slower, but we are not visible anymore, or not at least if we are behind some kind of a low thingy, so we can see and be there. And if we now want to shoot, I will just use this other stick here, and we can point our character into that direction and shoot into that direction. And because it's hard to press one of these buttons now, I'm always using this trigger button at the bottom here, the right one, to shoot now. And as you can see, we have killed that barrier here and can go through. And of course, if you want to, you can always move around into the silent mode, or go out of the silent mode and run around. Have a look at what is going on here. It's really not very important in the first mission that you are very fast. You can have a look at it. But as you can see, we have different kind of traps and puzzles here, more or less. So we need to do this little tutorial which is going on here, of course. So what we need to do is we go to the silent mode now and knee down a little bit, and like that we can go through that. If you're not kneeling down, you can't walk through this part here, and you may not be able to walk there. Yeah, and there is another guy which is going to go out here, and the safety capsule that he is using, I can't use that, so I have to go for another capsule here. And this will be mine. I will go into that, wait for it to close. And now we are going down to the planet here, because otherwise we would be dead. And this was the first little mission of this game, and I will show you on the ground now what is going on here. And as you can see, you are a space marshal. You will be up against different enemies you have to shoot, and there are different level ups and power ups you are going to collect and stuff like that. It really is a cool game. I really like it because the graphics are quite complex for such a game, and it's really a quite nice story they tell you here, and the controls are really perfect for this game. I really like it. Okay, so we get a new order here from our AE to go for some kind of an emergency kit, because we just have to have it, I'm not sure. As you can see, we have a life thingy here, So life bar, so we can see how much health is left. We have some kind of a shield bar there too. And here you can see how many shots you have till you have to reload. Reloading is done by, I think, Y. I'm not sure at the moment, but I think it's Y. I don't have to reload at the moment, so doesn't really matter. And now we will walk around here and see what's going on. Because on this planet we are not, we don't know what's going on here. Or at least I know what's going on here because I, of course, started this game before. And as you can see, we found another capsule here. So the capsule, and there is one of our enemies we have to kill, more or less. There are enemies in the area, so be careful, is more or less what she told me here. And as you can see, if we are going to run around in the silent mode or this ghost mode, we are not seen by the people here if we are behind some kind of a barricade, for example. And I really like this too close to him. And I really like this kind of style that is going on here. It's really a space Wild West area or whatever, a space Wild West kind of way, and I really like that. And as you can see, there are different power-ups we can collect. So in this case, this is just armor, which we have to get to be able to shoot, of course. And let's see what we can do here. We have to get this little bridge over. Now a checkpoint has been done. And as you can see, it's really nicely done in this case. And the enemies will search for you if they can and try to kill you, of course. And you have to go and try to kill them first. That's more or less what this is about, of course. If you go very close to them, especially if you are behind them, you can shoot at them in a better way, because then it's more or less a trap for them, and you can just shoot on them in a better way, and they will have a lot of power or health lost if you shoot on them then. And there are different kind of weapons you can collect. For example, there will be a shotgun, and there is this pistol you are using at the moment. And of course, as I told you before, Y is to recharge your gun there. And now we are just searching for our mission objectives here. There's another thing, but our shield is already at full power, so we don't have to collect that. And there will of course be bigger enemy people. Whoa, 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 whoa. And got them, so they can't get my my emergency packages here. And they didn't, and they weren't able to open this one, so we can use all the things we want. And now we have a new kind of weapon collected here, which is some kind of an explosive. I'm not sure what it is called in English, but an explosive part. And now we have the shotgun too. And now we can go and try to, for example, change the weapon. This is done by clicking on this this digital keypad, more or less. And if you click, for example, to the top, then you will change your weapon here. If you go to the left, for example, it will change back. And there are explosives now available at this point. We can use that too. And if I, for example, put it somewhere, you can see we would throw the explosives now. Quite cool. And you, of course, have to press the button to release it now, if you want it. But, of course, I don't want it, because the green one there is on my side. So I will just collect the armor here and go on. And now, since this is a shotgun, I should go to the... not helpful that he shot at him already. But a shotgun, for example, if you shoot with a shotgun from a very near distance, that will really hurt them then. And like that, we should collect our armor here. Go on. And that's a bad thing. If you are with another person, you can't go any kind of a stealth kind of way to play this, because they will shoot at them more or less early. And as you can see, we can now use some kind of armor here to fill it up, for example. And we need to put this door open, and for this door to open we need to destroy this little energy thing here, and to do that we only can use our explosive in this case, and throw our explosives over there. So you can see I can manipulate where I will throw it. Let's do that, and that should be it, and we can go through that. Of course, we should now change back to some kind of a good weapon here, and as you can see, there are really nice things here around. So there is, for example, some kind of an alien creature. It's going to be something like a cow or something, a space cow more or less, and it's really a nice game. I really like that one. They are telling you a lot about that, what to do and where to go and stuff like that. And in this case, we're going to use these space creatures to go to the next level, or whatever you want to call it. It really is a cool thing. You can now use a new, more or less you get something for completing this mission here, and like that you can use a black Marshall hat, for example, or you can use a white one. Whatever you want to use, choose one. Those are available for you now, and you can use them for the next mission if you want to. And here you see, this is the part where your home base, more or less. So in your base you can, for example, collect different weapons, update them, do other things with them, go to the next missions, and so on and so forth. It really is a very, very nice game, and I highly recommend you to play it with an Xbox One wireless controller, or any kind of controller you want to connect here. All of them should work. It's really a cool thing to play with that. And yeah, I think I will not show you the next mission here too, because we can play on and on. It's a really nice story. It's going a long time. I didn't play it through till now, but I think I have been in level 5 or something like that till now. It really is a fun little game, and you really should try it out if you didn't try it out till now. So download it from the Microsoft Store, play it, and tell me what you think about it. And please tell me in the comments about it. It's really a nice thing to do. Okay, so I think this is of course the menu, if I'm going to do that here, and now I can use the mouse again and, for example, close this down, and because we are more or less at the end of this episode. I hope you really had fun with it, and of course I hope you had fun with the other 99 episodes before this. And I hope for another 100 episodes. I don't know if we are going to do that, of course, but let's see how many we can do in the future too. And I hope you had fun. Have a nice weekend, of course. Yeah, as I said before, there may be coming more videos on this weekend, or maybe in the next few days, I'm not sure. And I think, yeah, this is more or less everything I can tell you. Have a nice day, have a nice week. We will see in the next episode, hopefully. If you want to give this episode a thumbs up, please do that. If you didn't subscribe till now, please do that too. And if you want to share this video, for example, yeah, feel free to do that. I'm very happy to be watched by more people, of course. And so, have a nice day, have a nice week. Till the next time, see you!